Insta360 X5, DJI Osmo 360. Which 360 camera should you buy? What's up guys, your boy FastLaneD, and today we are going to do a real world comparison of these two 360 cams, everywhere from image quality, low light performance, stabilization, audio, ease of mounting, battery life, built-in storage, and much more. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the movie. First up, let's talk price. The Insta360 standard bundle is gonna run you at $479.99, while the Insta360 X5 is gonna run you at $549.99. The DJI is capable of 8K at 50 frames per second, while the Insta360 is capable of 8K at 30 frames per second. The weight of the DJI comes in at 183 grams, while the weight of the Insta360 comes in at 200 grams. The DJI has the industry's first 1-inch 360 square sensor, giving it exceptional low light performance compared to the Insta360. Now when it comes to battery life, the DJI can record an 8K 30 frames per second for 100 minutes, while the Insta360 is rated at 88 minutes. But I think my two favorite things about the Osmo 360 is that it comes with two external microphones that connect via Bluetooth, so that you get movie quality audio from your 360 cam. The DJI also has 105 gigabytes of internal storage in case you forget your SD card or your SD card gets full, or you forget to clear it before going out and filming your ride. And lastly, the Insta360 films in an 8-bit color profile, while the DJI films in a 10-bit color profile, allowing for more flexibility post-production while color grading, with the Osmo 360 over the Insta360 X5 here. Enough yapping though, let's go ahead and jump into our actual image test. Beautiful. Oh yeah, I like the black on there. On the bar end, they had the silver ones on there. And the clear clutch cover. Way nicer. Now let's compare the cameras in a low light setting, which is honestly where I tend to find myself riding the most. Looking at this footage, honestly, it's pretty close. Like both cameras, really high quality. I'm impressed with this being DJI's first 360 cam that they're able to come out with something like this. I will say, in my opinion, the DJI looks a little bit more raw. Like if you look at the sides as I'm riding past the grass, you can see the details in the grass a lot better than on the Insta360. The grass looks a lot more smoothed out. It almost looks artificial. That's the best way to describe it. The Insta360 looks a little more artificial. The DJI looks a little bit more raw, and it picks up more detail. I'd say the same thing in the colors as well. The DJI is a little bit more true to color when it comes to daytime shots than the Insta360. In my opinion, I prefer more of the raw look because that allows you a little bit more ability to edit in post. So all my color grading nerds out there, you're gonna love that. Also, you'll notice the audio is significantly better on the DJI Osmo 360 than it is on the Insta360. The Insta360 almost sounds muffled while the bike's riding. Now to me, this is the most obvious where the DJI takes the cake. This is where that 1-inch 360 imaging square sensor really shines. So it's just able to pick up more light, more details at night over the Insta360. And the crazy part is that the camera's not even in its super night mode. So the lighting would be even better if we put it in that mode. I mean, the images here speak for themselves. But that's gonna wrap up the 360 camera comparison. You guys comment down below, which camera do you prefer? They're both great cameras, but for me personally, the DJI has a lot more pros and it weighs less. It's better in low light situations, which I tend to find myself in a lot. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm always filming at night where it's dark and no lights. It films at 8K 50 frames per second, which is more capable than what the Insta360 can do. It's lighter, it's got a longer battery life, which battery life is so important, especially when you're out on the bike recording clips. You don't want your camera to die mid-ride. The batteries are even interchangeable with my Action 5 and 6 that I use. And when that camera's in endurance mode, you can film in 8K 30 frames per second for up to 120 minutes. 120 minutes, that is 2 hours of 8K filming. That is insane. Also, that magnetic quick release is a game changer. It just makes changing batteries, taking the camera on and off your helmet or its mounting pole way easier. And lastly, for my camera nerds, once again, you can film in D-Log-M or in 10-bit color, which just gives you that flexibility in post. Oh, and I forgot to mention the audio. That kind of speaks for itself though. But that's really all I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the FastLaneD gang, baby. You guys enjoyed these camera review type things? I want to start doing more of them for you guys because I've been doing this for a while now and I've tried a lot of different cameras, different settings. I've kind of figured out what works best for me and what I like and what's easiest while you guys are out motovlogging. So yeah, comment down below if you want to see more of this stuff. As always, work hard, be consistent. You can do anything you want in life. Your boy, all the girls in the garage. We're out. We'll catch you in the next one. Remember, no matter what happens in life, stay the course. I'm out. Peace.